B-boy. From the old to the new, still a B-boy. Too bold for the school, still a B-boy. East Coast to the West, B-boys worldwide. We supposed to be blessed, still a B-boy.
Before I start this week, a few weeks ago, we kind of had a viral moment happen with the podcast. The numbers on especially YouTube did like 8 times more than the best video ever did. The audio versions 3 times better than the best one ever did. We somehow kind of started going viral. I don't know how that happened, but I appreciate everyone who listened for the first time, who left comments. I couldn't believe how many comments, who I got a few emails, and the people who hung with us for the next week. Keep hanging with us. Any ideas, email us. What would you like to see if we haven't done it? But I just appreciate all of a sudden I had almost 10,000 new listeners that I didn't have before. So it was awesome to watch, and I appreciated everyone. But with that, let's talk about this week because we're heading to Inglewood to talk about a rapper who not only showed up in the game during the height of gangster rap, he was co-signed by Ice Cube himself. From early features to a classic debut to becoming 1/3 of probably the most gangster rap group of all time, Mack 10 always kept it G. This week, top 10 Mack 10 solo songs. As always, Raven Hunter's in the house. Diz Mega's back. It's been a minute. And now
What
Brad
up?
Sadler's back too. It's been a minute. So, as always, I will start. And I'm going to go to the year 1997, based on a true story. And the song I'm going with was the first single, Backyard Boogie. The main single off it, and it was a great pick for a first single. That classic sounding beat by Battle Cat, someone who not enough people know that name. He did so much great production for West Coast hip hop in the 80s and 90s. It's a head nodder. This song always kind of reminds me of Coolio's Fantastic Voyage. Kind of is that type of song. And in 1997, I 100% jacked this beat for an album I made. I remember this interview where Mac was talking about based on a true story, and he said, "This is going to be my death certificate. I'm putting that much work into it. This is going to be the best I'll ever have." And I mean, it's debatable if that's what happened, but yeah, I love the first single, Backyard Boogie. It got my head nodding, so that's what I went with for number 10. You are up, Raven.
Number 10, I went to 2000's The Paper Route, which I think is probably the last album I really enjoyed from Mac. They kind of really just fall apart after that for me. I went with Nobody with Timbaland and Westside Connection. I just really like that beat. I like the flow a lot, and it's very indicative of that 2000 sound from Timbaland, which Mac and them I think sounded really like pretty dope on.
That was definitely an honorable mention, and I agree. You wouldn't think on paper that that's a good combination because it's a very Timbaland 2000 sounding beat. But it's a dope song. I agree. It was an honorable mention. It probably would have made a top 15. Diz, what's your number 10?
Number 10 for me, off the same record, Paper Route. I'm going with the first track on there, From the Streets, produced by Young Trey. Catchy hook, very Who Bangin' sounding, like, Who Bangin' had their own flavor of West Coast. And I think, Mac 10 had it going on for a while there. And Young Trey brought that beat that just screamed Who Bangin' to me. Real catchy, From the Streets, From the Streets. Love the song. Had to make my top 10. And that's what I got for number 10.
Man, you guys are killing. Another honorable mention. That's
Mhm.
such a Mac 10 sounding song. Great. Brad, what's your number 10? Yeah, I'm singing it in my head now too.
All right, so I went to I tried really hard to find something off this since I had it on vinyl. I went with the first single off this, Like This, and if you throw Nate Dogg on a song, it's gonna be fucking dope. That's all I gotta say about that. I also, it's funny, like I also like that Christian song on here too, but I was like, I ain't picking that shit. The redemption song or whatever, but I was like, nah, I gotta find another song. So that's my number 10.
But let's go to number 9 now. I'm gonna go to 2000s The Paper Route and or Route, I guess, where how you say that. And I'm going with the song Spousal Abuse. Now, when I think of this album, I think of that song for when it came out. And when I was preparing for this, I hadn't listened to this album in I don't even know 10 years. And I'm thinking that song probably ages bad. I mean, Spousal Abuse, I kind of remember what it was about. I just knew I really liked it. So I was like, this is going to age so bad, I can't pick it. But it didn't age as badly as I thought because he's really talking about women who are lying about getting beat on, to get their baby daddies in trouble. So it's really just a great fuck my baby mama song. So that shit made the list. Legendary Cocaine on the Hook, Who Bangin' MC Technique does a verse, and his verse is a little darker. Like he says, be on that crazy shit, have you tied up naked in a trunk on some Slim Shady shit. And that was a cool little nod to M. But yeah, Spousal Abuse, it's a good fuck my baby mama song. Not that I'm saying that about mine anymore, but number 9, Raven. I should shut up now.
Number 9, I went with Backyard Boogie, the coattail off your number 10. This really dope pop-up single. Like that beat a lot. Just feel good song for me. I love that shit.
Diz, number 9.
Number 9, I picked something off The Recipe, one of the coolest compilation records. But LBC and the ING, just a smooth track, Snoop Dogg and Mack 10 on there. It's a fun track. Not much else you can say about it.
I love that. We're gonna talk about that album more, but I really like The Recipe, and I thought it was such a creative album cover too, where he's cooking with the samplers and the beat machines and shit. I thought that was pretty witty.
Yeah, pretty cool.
Brad, number 9.
All right, I got one cheat. I got one cheat, and I'm never going to be able to bring up this artist on a podcast because you're probably never going to do it. But I fucking love YG, and I love his first album, My Crazy Life. And there was like a album, I don't know, an EP that came after called Blame It on the Streets, and it's got a remix of Bick and Back Being Bull, and it's got DJ Quick and Mack 10 on it. First of all, the original song slays, but then when you add DJ Quick and Mack 10 on it, that song is even better. So sorry for the cheat, but YG's dope, DJ Mustard's dope, and Mack 10 and DJ Quick with them is even better.
All right, number 8. I'm going to 1995's Friday soundtrack and Take a Hit. And I'm pretty sure this is the first solo song we hear from Mack 10. I think I first heard him on Lenchmod's Planet of the Apes. I believe that came out before Dub C's Curb Serving, which had him on. But on Take a Hit, he brings it. It's like he had the opportunity, and it's actually some of his best wordplay. It's tighter than your average Mack 10 song, but that laid back vibe, perfect for us. A movie like Friday so much about smoking weed. And the beat is done by Ice Cube. It's just that slow G shit. Once again, an iconic top 10 of all time soundtrack, Friday soundtrack. So Take a Hit, Had to Make It. That was number 8. What's your number 8, Raven?
That would have been like an honorable mention for me for sure. It's such a dope beat. I think the first time I remember hearing Mack was, I think he was on a remix on Bootlegs and B-Sides, if I'm not mistaken. I think that would have been the first time I heard his voice. But if I'm not mistaken, he was on there. Anyway, we're number 8. I'm going to 90s The Recipe, which honestly is my favorite Mack album, and I didn't even realize that until like half my list is The Recipe, and then I realized it. I went with we'll call it Made Ones with Master P and Mystical. I fucking love the beat because it is a no limit beat, and I don't know, I think Mack sounds really cool rapping along to that beat with Master P and Mystical, and they fit in as well as they always do on their own style. So we may get to a No Limit podcast eventually. And that'll be awesome.
Eventually.
So I'm going to try to just sneak them in when I can here and there. So.
No, we're definitely, I want to do No Limit one day. What's interesting to listen to Master P from that era is like the 4 to 6 years after Tupac died, he like stole his flow. Like he tried to rap exactly like Tupac. He didn't even try to like kind of. It just was like
no, he started it on that Westside Bad Boys.
Yeah, he did that first song, tribute to Tupac, right?
And he rapped exactly like Pac over the All Eyes on Me beat, and then he never stopped.
Diz, what's your number 8?
Number 8 from based on a true story. Only in California. Ice Cube, Snoop Dogg again, and Mack 10. Love the beat. Lyrics are cool. It's a California anthem. They just all kill it on there, and it's just a dope ass track, man.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. That will get brought up again. I actually have a long rant about something on that, but Brad, what's your number eight?
I heard this podcast loves Cash Money
Oh
Records.
yeah.
So, and I'm looking at Chris and I'm kind of seeing the hate in his eyes right now.
It's real.
I can feel it.
And that's my song for no, I actually really like this album. I think it's really good. I don't think I don't think they did a bad job at all with this album. I could have picked a lot of songs off of it, but I just went with the single "Hate in Your Eyes," just because I thought it was kind of funny. But there's some good stuff. The Westside Connection song in there is pretty good too.
Yep.
That one passes.
Yeah, Connected for Life was my one, I'll say it, honorable mention off of Banger
Yeah,
Ball.
same.
Um,
I tried really hard to find a
I
song.
just
I
don't
just
like
couldn't.
Cash Money's production. I just don't like that sound. But number seven, I'm going to 1998's The Recipe, and I agree, this might be my favorite Mac 10 album. It's close with that or the debut, and I'm going with the single off of this one, Money's Just a Touch Away. Even though this album is kind of more like a compilation, I even went into Wikipedia, which you know is always true, but it's listed as an album, not as like a compilation. But this was the lead single. It's just him on it. And man, I wanted it higher because talking about coming up, trying to make it in rap, and he's like got a line like EPMD, can you please listen to my demo? And I just related to it so much. And then in the next verse, he's coming close and it doesn't work with this one group. Then eventually he's getting signed by a dude working on the Predator. Just loved it. If you've done music yourself, you can relate to just that grind trying to get. He's just a touch away from it. Gerald Levert on the hook. Usually I wouldn't pick a song with R&B hook, but it works for this. The beat fits perfectly. Rhythm D on the beat, another West Coast legend. Man, I love this song. I love that on the real vibe. Money's Just a Touch Away gets me every time. So that was what hit seven. What about you, Raven?
I went to 95 with Mac 10 for the song Faux Life with Ice Cube. Always like that beat. I was a huge Cube fan, so when that shit came out, I was all over anything Cube was in. That song's always stood out to me on that album. Album doesn't hold as strong as I remember, but I still really like it.
Seven for you, Diz.
Seven for me is sticking on based on a true story. There's a track called Tonight's the Night featuring Squeak Roo. I think they got some pretty dope chemistry, and the beat is from or by Ant Banks, and it's just one of my favorite beats that Ant Banks does. One of my favorite Mac 10 tracks. It's just dope. Always been one of my favorite tracks, and I love that record actually, based on a true story. I know a lot of people kind of don't like some parts of it, but all in all, when I first had it, I was like, this is a classic. So yeah.
And Ant Banks, anytime I can sing his praises. So
Yeah.
amazing. One day we're going to get to an Ant Banks list. Brad, what is your number seven?
All right. Going to the Recipe, which everyone seems to love the best. My complaint about the Recipe is like there's very few like Mac 10 songs where he's not with somebody else. It's always like a bunch of other people. Which is fine. Like I mean, I love him with Ice Cube and stuff like that. But anyways, I picked Get Your Ride On. It's got an easy verse on it and that I think is dope and I just loved hearing that. So there's a lot of great songs on the first three or four albums are I agree definitely the best. I think Based on a True Story is my favorite, but Recipe is definitely up there. I actually own two copies of this on vinyl. Somehow I I bought two. I have no idea why. Maybe I loved it so much.
That is a good pick because we can go right into my number six. Get Your Ride On from The Recipe is my number six. I think this pick needs context because in 1998, to hear an Eazy-E verse that the world hadn't heard before was huge. It wasn't like now where all that it all gets leaked on YouTube or whatever. To know there's an Eazy-E verse I have never heard when I'm buying this album. I mean, I was so excited. I opened a CD. I went straight to track five, I think it is. And from the opening chord of that beat from Rhythm D, again, it just hits. Matt comes in and he's fine over that, gangsta beat. But then, the second verse, when you just hear Eric, 1, 2, 3 to the 4, easy motherfucking E with the crumpty dome. I mean, it's like, it's a new Easy, which you never thought you'd get anything new. So it was huge in that era to hear unreleased Easy E verse. And then for the cherry on top, you even get MC8 at the back. So yeah, get your ride ons the shit. Gangsta shit. But yeah, context. It's got to be looked at in context to truly appreciate it, I think. So Raven, what's your number 6?
Get your ride on.
Oh,
With
3
Easy
in a
E.
row.
Yep. Fucking
Nice.
you know me and Easy E, he's the whole reason I started rapping in the first place. I love Eric and I always held him very high. So much like you said, the minute I heard that Ramblings, there was a verse 2 years after his death that I hadn't heard yet. That was a day one purchase, regardless on how it sounded. And it's not like when Eric Sermon cut up switches and stuck them
Right.
in it was a new, like,
Yep.
quote, new verse. So it was, yeah, I had every verse from him memorized. So finally something new.
All right, Diz, I think your number 6 has to be Get Your Ride On.
It's not, but it does make my list.
Ah,
Uh, this is my cheat song, but it's off of Spice One's Bossellini record, Fetty Chico and the Mac, produced by Ant Banks. It's just a cool track, man, you know. I like the hook on it, you know. It's I don't know who's singing in it, but it's just Fetty Chico and the Mac, and they go through some crazy ass bloody shit, man. And he just says some weird stuff on there, you know. It's pretty unique for a Mac 10 and Spice One record, but or a track. But I love the song. It's one of my all-time favorites. I had to make the list on this one. Fetty Chico and the Mac.
Brad, what's your number 6?
All right, number 6 is I ordered the vinyl because I realized I didn't have it, but it hasn't come in yet. So it's off the paper route. I think it's already been mentioned, From the Streets. It's just Mac 10 rapping, I think. And it's I think the first track on the album. It's hyped up. There's a video for it. It's a great song. It's definitely my favorite song of the paper route.
All right, halfway done already. And for number 5, I'm going to based on a true story, and I'm going with the song Only in California. I mean, it's a dope song, Ice Cube, Snoop, right? The song itself stands out. Superfly on the beat, perfect vibe for the trio. Everyone brings it. But if you've never seen the video, pause this, go watch the video. I'm going to try to explain this video. And I know I always bring up videos that don't make sense with what the song's about. This is next level, doesn't make sense. So, it's just a song about California, being from Cali. And the video is a mix of like steampunk and the movie Saw. And it's got this old time like video camera, and there's these weird images here, 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 here. And it's like a puzzle you got to decipher. And then Mac 10 is stuck in this massive spider web wrapping his verse. Cube has some torture device on his head, like from the movie Saw, and he's rhyming through the opening. Snoop's walking in this high winds, blowing his hair back. These women are sewing on sewing machines, and then they get up and all start doing jumping jacks. What the fuck am I watching? This is so fucking bizarre. Everyone's got to watch this video. It is the most bizarre. I think their goal was to just make the most bizarre video that has nothing to do about this song. And it's weird to be watching those images and they're just doing your standard gangster rap lyrics. But I like the song. I just had a rant about the video. It's bizarre as hell. Only in California, my number 5. What's yours, Raven?
Number 5, I stuck with the recipe and I went with Should I Stay or Should I Go? With Ice Cube and Corn. Man, I love when Ice Cube rap with Corn. He did a couple other tracks with him, and he always just sounds so dope with them in the tracks. And Mac fit right in with that shit, and it's just a dope vibe to that song. It is a great way to close that album.
I agree. That was an honorable mention, and I know it's that's a remake of a classic rock song. I didn't look up who it was. I'm sure Brad can tell me, but
Flash, Should I Stay?
Flash, yeah. No, that was an honorable mention. Dope song. Diz number 5 we're on.
Number 5. Hey, banger ball, man. We got Connected for Life with Ice Cube and Dub C on it. Everybody's still friends here. It's nice. And
Yeah.
Butch Cassidy, brings in the hook, a Manny Fresh beat. Not bad, not bad. But I do love the song. It's hella catchy, and that one always makes my Mac 10 playlist. So Connected for Life.
Yeah, that was my one honorable mention from that record. Brad, number 5.
I guess I should stay because I'm right on point with Raven. Should I stay or should I go?
Oh,
Off the recipe. I didn't actually know it was corn. That's new info to me. I was just so like, I love rock music. I love The Clash. They're a great punk band. I had that cassette that had that. It has two really popular songs, Should I Stay or Should I Go? And I forget the name of the other one now, but it was so cool to hear that sample. And the beginning's like, Mac, you got everything but rock shit on here. And
Yeah.
he's like, hold up.
Yeah.
Let's do it right now. So hell yeah, that made my list at number 5.
Number 4, for the first time, I'm going to 1995 self-titled debut album. And I'm going with the song, you brought it up, Raven, Full Life. It's the first song on the album, on his very first solo album, and it's just a perfect way to start off. Ice Cube again on the beat, which, I don't ever think of Ice Cube as a producer, but in this little era, he was playing around with it. It's just straight G shit. A hook I have to sing along with. I will every single time. In the video, I mean, it's a standard video, but I like and it's like in the second verse, he's in court in his orange jumpsuit and handcuffs and just rapping the verse, and that always makes me kind of grin. Was the lead single. What more do you want? Full life. So that was my number 4. Raven, you are up.
I stuck with the recipe again. And mainly this song is on here for a feature more than the song itself. But I love J.O. Felony. And I went with Ghetto Horror Story with Ice Cube and J.O. Felony. God, I love that song. But I love J.O. Felony, and no one ever talks about him, and it's not fair.
Right here, Ghetto Horror Show, in parentheses, my number 11. J.O.
Okay.
Felony is so amazing, especially those first two albums of his. It's such a unique flow and voice. We're doing J.O. one day. That's awesome that you're a J.O. Felony fan too. Because I think that every time I hear him, like, man, more people should know him. It's such a unique flow and voice. And yeah, that's a great pick. We are on 4. Diz, you're up.
On number 4, that Jail Felony, sorry, I think it's called
Take a
Going
Ride?
Home. Take a
Take a
Ride.
Ride. Yeah.
That whole album, and yes, I know that first album is definitely a classic.
Yep.
Okay, number 4, I got Nothing But the Cavi Hit. I guess it was a single for the Dog Pound and Mac 10 for a Rhyme and Reason soundtrack. Yeah, the first time I actually heard the song was off the NWA Legacy record, 98 or 90, 88 to 98. It was called Volume 1. I remember they had a couple, I don't know, they were really milking that NWA thing for a while, and that song made that record. Anyways, this is Daz, definitely at his peak, prime Daz, just old school Death Row type of production, and Mac 10 just goes flawlessly on it. It's just a great track, in my opinion. So, the Cavi Hit.
That was an honorable mention. I remember the maxi single. It had like 7 or 8 tracks on it, and the cover was in black and white. I don't know why you need to know that, but yeah, that's a great song. I didn't think anyone would pick that. Yeah, I'm trying to think what else. There's something else on another song on that maxi single, but it escapes me.
Master P.
Master P and Silk had
Oh,
a song on there. Yeah.
maybe that's why I forgot it.
Hey, you motherfucker.
Hate in your eyes, man.
Hate in
Hate
my
in your
eyes.
eyes.
Yeah, lots of hate. Number 4 for you, Brad.
Oh, all right. Yeah, so we've already talked about it. Sorry, I'm falling over, but here, Friday soundtrack, Take a Hit. It's just the whole soundtrack's awesome. That's a great song. It's already been said. It's dope. I love it.
All right, top 3, just like that. I'm gonna go back to 98's The Recipe, and I'm going with the song The Letter. This was number 1 on my list for a while. I love this song. Mac is writing a letter to those people who criticize hip hop and violence in hip hop. And from the very beginning, there's like a corny white guy where you hear this stuff, this gangster rap talking about drugs and stuff. And then he says the N word, and Mac's like, what? To start the first verse, to whom this may concern, whoever you may be, before you criticize, try to understand me. And then the whole song is just writing this letter defending hip hop, why violence may be talked about from people who come from certain neighborhoods. And the concept is just, I think, so brilliant and done so well. I just always loved the artistic, vision of this song, The Letter. Just love it. Binky Mac from All From the Eye does the beat. And that works perfectly. I don't know. I love songs that are just unique, different, and done perfectly like that. Because there's 50 Mac 10 just G shit songs, but this one was I like it. I'll stop rambling. Raven, what's your number three?
My number three, Only in California with Ice Cube and Snoop Dogg. Just a great vibe, great. It's everything you expect when you see the three names on that track. So it fits perfectly.
Diz, what's your number three?
Full Life,
Ah,
straight off the Mac 10, his first record. Ice Cube, yeah, you were talking about his production way back in the day. It just screams like early 90s, that West Coast era. Just that gutter, fresh gangster shit. Gangster shit when it was still fresh.
right.
And that's what we got here. Faux Life, man. Mac 10, he did kind of back then. I just kind of thought he was like a mini Ice Cube. Like to me, he sounded a
Yep.
little bit like Ice Cube, you know. But after a while, I could distinguish the guys, and Mac 10 to me doesn't sound much like him these days. But whatever.
Hmm.
I love it though. Classic track.
Three for you, Brad.
All right, we're going to based on a true story. Nothing but the what is this? Oh, this is 100% pure Cabby. So the
Oh,
song Backyard Boogie, we've already talked about. I think it was a single off that. It's really
yep.
catchy. And again, I really like this whole album.
Yeah, and like I said, I remember that interview where he's like, he compared it to Death Certificate, like my perfect album.
Yeah, I don't know if it's death certificate worthy.
No, I mean not what is,
No,
not much is, but I'm just saying that's the way he described it, like the work he was
He
putting
was
into it.
trying to.
Right, this was his gonna be his best album ever. But actually, thinking about it in real time, when this came out, Westside Bow Down had been out the year before, and I remember being just a little disappointed with Based on a True Story because I was probably had such a high expectations, which I shouldn't have for a Mac 10 solo comparing it to Bow Down. But I don't know. I liked it, but I wasn't blown away by it. And even now, think I like it a little bit more now. Appreciate it maybe a little more, but so I'll just go right to 92 to number two. 1995's self-titled album. This was also on number one for a while. Then it knocked a letter, and then what's number one knocked this out, and that is West Side Slaughterhouse. I mean, this is only the second time these three people who would become Westside Connection are together. First one was on Dubsy's West Up. They just destroy this gritty beat. And it was done by this producer group, Madness for Real, which was multiple producers. But the 8 bars at a time for each, the beat drops perfectly and just crazy disrespect to the East Coast. Just like crazy disrespect to the East Coast. And then starting, drama with Common, but it's done so well, Used to love her, man, because we fucked her pussy with a bitch with no common sense. The Ice Cube OJ verse, right? That's brilliant. Just brilliant. Definition of gangster rap, so hard. You don't want Cube to grow his Jerry curl back. It
mm-mm.
just gets me hyped. Makes me want to punch someone. Westside Slaughterhouse is just so damn good. So it came in at number two. And no one else has brought it up yet. I'm thinking if someone will. Number two for you, Raven.
Dude, for me, I live in the recipe right now. And so this song really, it's like, Easy and them are the reason I rap, but I'm a East Coast kid at heart. I grew up on the Eastern Shore on the East Coast. Like Easy is why I rap. LL Cool J is what got me into rap. But I went with Let the Games Begin with Fat Joe and Big Pun. Because man, I fucking love the Punisher, and I can only really imagine what could have been had he not passed away making that second album. Because even that album, it never could have lived up to Capital Punishment. But he was, 98 prime pun in the song, and Fat Joe was really finding that smooth flow that he got and got down for many years. It took him quite a few albums, in my opinion, to get to where he was. And then Mac sounds awesome alongside him, and yeah, Let the Games Begin.
Yeah, we probably would have done Big Pun already if his catalog wasn't so short. Yeah.
Facts.
But people haven't caught up to his lyrical ability yet. Number two for you, Diz.
Get Your Right On from the
Ah,
recipe. Like you were saying earlier, the context really tells something that you can't see today. Just a new Easy E verse, like, whoa, like it's been a long time. And it was crazy to hear it, you know. I remember the same thing, getting the CD, just skipping to, you know, that track just to hear Easy E and just taking it all in. Never heard that verse in my life, and I loved it, man. I was blown away by it, and you know, Mack 10, I'd become a fan after Westside Connection, and I was really enjoying some MC8 at that time too. He was really doing it big there with Who Bangin', and this track was just awesome back then. So love it.
Number two for you, Brad.
Oh Life off the self-titled, which unfortunately I don't have on vinyl and is very expensive. But yeah, we've already talked about it. It's an awesome song. And was vying for, well, no, my number one was pretty much solidified, but it's always been way up there. It's one of my favorite Mac 10 songs for sure.
So here we are, number one. And no one's brought this up. I wasn't expecting anyone to. I know it won't get brought up now since no one has yet. And it was on the maxi single for Westside Slaughterhouse. But that's not where I heard it. I heard it on, and I couldn't find the CD. It was pissing me off. It's somewhere. But there was a Best Buy sampler CD that if you spent like 20 or a certain amount of dollars, you got this free sampler that was all new songs that Priority Records was distributing. So any companies they worked with, and Who Bangin' was one of them. And this song was on there, and that song was the West Side remix for On Them Things. Now, the original version on his self-titled album is a completely different song. It's way low back, real laid back. It samples like Mary Jane. I mean, it's so slow, and I'm not a fan of the song there. This remix, one of my top 10 favorite beats I've ever heard in my life, and it's such a rare. I mean, if no one's heard it, check it out. It's On Them Things, West Side remix. It's also on the West Side Slaughterhouse single. But this blew my mind. And the tempo's at least twice as fast as the original, which is slow. But Mac rides that perfectly. And the beat is by 88X Unit, who I had to look up because I never heard of him. And he also did Cube's What Can I Do from Lethal Injection. He did that beat. But this beat is amazing. In the hook, they sample Cam. It's just amazing. If you've never heard it, you got to check it out. On Them Things, West Side remix. That beat gets me every single time. So that was my number one. That's why I was pretty sure no one else had it. It's obscure. I've never seen that CD anywhere else, so I wish I could find mine. Raven, what's your number one?
Wish I could say that, but I'm gonna have to hunt that song down. I don't recall that track, to be honest with you. So
It's
I wrote that
amazing.
down.
Yep.
But I went with Westside Slaughterhouse with Westside Connection. Fuck, gangsta music. I love gangsta music, and this is a hard ass song. And as you covered, it's disrespectful as fuck, and it's just fun to listen to.
Yeah, Cube was all about being disrespectful in that era. Especially to
Yeah, anybody that he wanted, he just shot. He didn't give a fuck.
Right. I figured that would be high on a lot of people's list. Diz, is that your number one?
Yeah, you know, I love the beat on there. Madness for Real, one of my all-time favorites. He's done a lot of stuff on Ruthless Records, and I've chatted with him a bit, you know, here. He's from like another country, but he's reminded me of his of all the work he's done. And this track, it is interesting to hear Ice Cube back then, just like a dog without a leash, you know, just disrespectful as fuck, you know. And what are you gonna do about it? You know, he was unapologetically, they were all unapologetically West Coast. That's probably the best way of describing it, you know, just unapologetic about it. And that was like, you know, West Side Connection type stuff. So good shit, man. That is the number one track, though. I love it.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And I like to think that and like West Up off of Curb Serving, what eventually gave us Bow Down and West Side Connection. And I mean, they had such good chemistry. It's too bad we'll probably never get another West Side Connection record. What is number one for you, Brad?
I'm sorry that I didn't add West Side Slaughterhouse. I had it and it's crossed out for something else, but this was always going to be.
Hey, see, told you black and white.
I fucking love this song. I like right away. I put in number one. I was like, nothing but the cavi hit. That is so smooth. It's so catchy. And for 98, it was a top 40 single and probably one of the last like death row kind of air. Because Dog Pound was death row. That sounding, I think probably one of the last singles that did well before the West kind of like, started its decline. But man, what a way to go out. This song is so fucking catchy. It had to be my number one. I don't even know if it's a cheat or not, because I don't think it was actually.
No, well, no, it's on the soundtrack, but that I wouldn't call that a cheat. And actually, the whole Rhyme and Reason soundtrack, which I don't know if we ever brought up, is a really strong soundtrack as well.
You definitely talked about it.
Yeah,
I love that soundtrack.
My memory sucks. Mac 10. So honorable mentions. Since I am getting a lot of new listeners, if something didn't make anyone's list and I thought it needed love, I just do it a quick shout out on honorable mentions. So what was not listed from the self-titled album, Here Comes the G, and Mac 10 is the name, which is the last song, and it's got a really great beat. Based on a true story, the title track based on a true story, I can hear the lady singing in my head, and the song Mac 10, Mac 10. From the Recipe, #1 crew in the area, which is just a posse track, but it's got Dub C, MC8, All From the Eye. I don't know if the Comrades are on there. It's done well. From the Paper Route, I only put this on here because the album or the song is tight to death, and it's got T-Boz from TLC, and the beat's really good. Mac's killing it, and then T-Boz comes in and ruins it. It's like does not go together. I always like, oh man, why'd she have to ruin it?
I wanted to like that track.
I know she ruins it. It
Yeah,
starts
I
so
love
well.
TLC. And it is, it's not great. Apparently they ruined their relationship too.
Yeah, I know it didn't end well for that happy couple. And the last one from Players Club soundtrack, You're Delinquent featuring Scarface. That probably would have made my top 15. Anything we're missing?
Guppies. Guppies.
Go.
Yeah, I love that song. And WS for Life from Based on a True Story, another dope ass song.
Yeah, that is a good record. I mean, those first three I like all.
Players Club was a pretty cool soundtrack, man. That takes me
wasn't
back.
cool.
Ice Cube and Master P, good song.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah, they redid Houdini's I'm a Hoe on that soundtrack. And that was the first time you really heard like the Don Mega version of Ice Cube, on the Players Club song, or We Be Clubbing, that's what it was called. It kind of got that flow that was you heard like in War and Peace.
I love that 97 to like 2000 Ice Cube flow, or 2001.
My favorite. That's probably my favorite too.
The yay.
It's good.
Get you hype. Get you hype.
Yeah, the War album, that one track, The Pecking Order, that one is cold, man. Mac 10 on that intro.
Right.
You guys remember that?
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah.
Yeah, he just shoots that guy unexpected. Well, I mean, he was kind of expecting it. It's just a cold track.
Now I want to do Ice Cube over. We should have done a top 20 Ice Cube. Ice Cube was the very first roundtable we ever did. It'd be interesting how different my list
revisit
would be.
that.
It'd be interesting to revisit and see how my list compared, not look at it.
I'd be interested in that.
Yeah, we should do it. Maybe we'll write that down. But yeah, Mac 10. We got all the Westside Connections solo stuff done. Have a good night. See you guys.
Still a B-boy, from the old to the new, still a B-boy. Too bold for the school, still a B-boy. East Coast to the West, B-boys worldwide, we supposed to be blessed. Still a B-boy, from the old to the new, still a B-boy. Too bold for the school, still a B-boy. East Coast to the West, B-boys worldwide.